Okay, Victor. It's great to be in conversation with Victor in India just before the start of the World Blind T20 World Cup. Victor, can you tell us a little bit of the history of blind cricket?
See, as far as my memory goes, I believe blind cricket at an international level has been played even before Don Bradman started playing in 1928.
So blind cricket's been going for
I understand the first blind cricket match of any sort was held in the year 1922. But I mean, in terms of an international structure to the game, it really happened only in the year 1996 when the World Blind Cricket Council was formed in India, and the first meeting was held in India in the month of, if I'm not wrong, May 1996.
And this was the first time that there was a real structure to the game on an international level.
Yeah, that's the first time in 1996 an effort was made. I would say complete credit for that should go to George Abraham from India, who has been the father of this game, not only in India but I would say even internationally. He tried to bring in all the cricketing nations who were playing blind cricket at that time, which was primarily all the cricketing nations like England, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. West Indies was not there at that time, but we had about 7 countries, and all these 7 countries were brought together under one platform, and that was the first time when we were trying to, the unified rules and regulations of the game was discussed, because till then I believe the ball which was being used in different countries was different. Like I believe in England the ball which was being used was almost as big as a handball or a soccer ball, whereas the ball which was being used in Australia was more elliptical in shape rather than roundish in shape, and the ones used in India and Pakistan was almost similar, though the ball in Pakistan was much bigger than the one which was being used in India. So 1996 would be the first year where the rules were being unified. At least one made an attempt to unify the rules. And then since then, by and large, every year or every second year, one has been having a meeting of the World Blind Cricket Council, and the rules have been on a regular basis getting streamlined.
Can you just tell our listeners a bit about the rules and of blind cricket, because to most people it seems an impossible thing to actually play.
See, the game of blind cricket is I would say conceptually similar to what we have as a normal form of cricket, in the sense that it has a pitch which is 22 yards. And it has 3 stumps on either side of the pitch. It has a team of 11 players each, okay, and it is played with the normal cricket bat. The difference starts the moment you get into the ball. The ball here is a plastic ball which makes sound. Because it has ball bearings inside that, and since the bowling is underarm, underarm, when I say, you have to roll the ball, and when the ball gets rolled on the ground, it makes the rattling sound, and that's precisely the essence of the blind cricket, because the vision not being there, the players they perceive the sound and then play their shots. And when I say blindness here does not mean total blindness. Each team has a different category of blindness in its composition. There are 3 categories basically which are formed, which are used in this form of the game. There are players who are totally blind, whom are known as called as B1s, Then you have, these are people who have no vision at all. Okay, so to say, I mean, in terms of technical language, it will be 0 by 60. And then you have the next level of players, which is partially blind. Now, partially blind are the people who have a perception of distance which can go maximum up to 2 by 60, which means if a normal eye can see at 60 feet, at best these people can see only at about 2 feet. And the third and the last category, which is B3, is known as partially sighted people. These are the people who have a vision between 2 by 60 to 6 by 60. So that's how the composition of the team is made. And each team of 11 has, initially when the rules were formed, they had to have a minimum of 4 totally blind players, B1 players. They had to have a minimum of 3 partially blind players. And they could have a maximum of the best category of B3 players, maximum 4 players. So that's how the 11 were made, and that's how the games were played.
That's fantastic, Victor. Thank you very much for outlining the sort of categories and also some of the rules of blind cricket. Obviously, this is the first.
Yeah. Going further, the first World Cup of cricket for the blind was again it was an initiative taken by India, and this was played in the year 1998, and this was played in Delhi, the capital of India, New Delhi, and in fact it was known as the Kanishka World Cup Cricket for the Blind. This was played in the month of November and December, in fact basically in the month of November 1998, and you'll be surprised, we had a fantastic tournament where all the 7 cricket playing nations at that time, the blind cricket playing nations, Australia, New Zealand from down under, England, South Africa, India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, all the 7 teams participated, and it was a round robin league, because which meant that each team was playing the other team once, and the top 4 team reached the semi-finals, and then you had the finals. It was an amazingly successful tournament, which South Africa won, and you will be surprised to know the scores. Pakistan and South Africa played the finals, and Pakistan scored 329, if I'm not wrong, for 8 wickets. This was a 40 overs a side game, and South Africa scored 330 for no loss and won the game. So that was as far as the first World Cup was concerned, and you would also be very, very happy to know that the finals, which was played on the 29th of November 1998, finals, the chief guest was at that time the President of India, Mr. K.R. Narayanan, and one of the guest of honors was the India's greatest opening batsman, Sunil Gavaskar. In fact, it was very well conceptualized and very well accepted by the media, and I would say it was a very, very grand success. And the entire cricketing world, let alone only the blind cricketing world, were very happy to see that such an event was happening in India.
And who you think are the favourites, really?
Actually, it has to be a big guess for me, because I have really not been following this game for almost about 4 or 5 years. But I would really think the teams from the continent, the top 2 teams, the India and Pakistan, I think they would stand a fantastic chance in taking this forward, because I know they are both tough competitors, and the home advantage is going to be heavily in favor of both India and Pakistan.
And it's an absolutely wonderful occasion to have all the cricketing nations in India, and it's a celebration really of the ability of the human spirit to actually create such a tournament.
Let me take you back to my involvement, because that's how I'll probably be able to explain it to you. When I started getting involved with this game in 1994, I've always been a cricket buff, and I still play my cricket on Sundays. My getting involved with this game was, I would say, very, very accidental, because I read an article about George, and it was more in terms of George Abraham having done a lot of work for social development in our country, and there is some kind of an award which is given people with that kind of recognition, and George was conferred this award in 2003. And there was this article about George in one of the leading Indian newspapers, Indian Express. And the last paragraph of that mentioned about the fact that George was working towards a World Blind Cricket Council and a World Cup for cricket for the blind. This was way back in, mind you, 1994, and World Cup took place in 1998. And which is when I thought that I should get involved with George, primarily because it was at that time, till that time, it was all the passion of cricket from my end to get involved. But believe me, the moment I started getting involved and started looking at these people playing their game, despite not having the complete faculty of one of the six senses, I was actually kind of moved, and I was amazed at the level of achievement these people had in them. And from then onwards, the journey was very, very different, because what I could gather from what I actually learned from these people was the fact that the sheer sense of achievement on the field or off the field, which these people only perceive, they can't see it. More often than not, most of them cannot see that, but they can only kind of perceive that and enjoy it, was far in excess of what you and I, probably the so-called abled people, can even think of kind of enjoying that. So that was a very major, I would say, impacting lesson on me in terms of a sheer spirit of life which these people imbibe when they are on the field. And the moment we had so much of crowd, in fact, the first World Cup was quite a revelation in the sense that we had quite a bit of crowd coming in to watch these games. Can you imagine, we had on the day of the finals, of the first World Cup finals, we had close to about 7,000 people on the ground. Okay, so that's the kind of fanfare this game was getting on to, in India at least, I would say. And same with Pakistan. I traveled to Pakistan also, and I could see a similar kind of emotions there. So to answer your question, I think the level and the sense of achievement, not only for the players who are involved in this game, but even the so-called passionate spectators who come and watch this game and who are involved with this game, I believe is very, very high. It's an eye-opener, I would say.